Good morning. We want to send out blessings to Donna on her vacation. Thank you this morning for having me as your guest speaker. It's an honor and a blessing to be with you here today sharing truth principles. I can never thank you enough for your love and support on my journey at the Unity Urban Ministerial School. Thank you. I love you. Um, I know that whenever two or three are in agreement, God is always in the midst. So I know that God loves you and I love you, but I'd like for you to affirm with me today that God loves me in talking to yourself. So can we affirm that? God loves me. And yes, He does. God is in the midst this morning. Well, this morning I'm going to be talking, the title of my message is DTE. And on March the 15th of 2014, I attended a communication seminar with Reverend Dr. Sheila Cook, who is the director of the Unity Urban Ministerial School. And she facilitated this seminar. And the title of the seminar was Homiletics. So me, I'm pretty domestic. When it came up that the title was Homiletics, I thought it was something that dealt with home, but it really wasn't. Homiletics means the art of preaching. So Reverend Cook had a group of students, and she spoke and talked about a message that she did as a senior minister in California. She was on the West Coast, and the title of her subject was PG&E. And this message was delivered, and she was trying to show us as students how to use things in everyday life that people could relate to when putting together a message. So after she gave this seminar, she gave us an assignment. And that assignment was to put together something using the acronyms DTE. Now, for those of you who are responsible for paying bills at your household, when you think of DTE, you think of paying, bills, or, this is a company that provides the power and light to our homes. Well, when I got this message or this assignment to write a message, I was very irritated. And the reason being was DTE had just recently disconnected my power for non-payment. It was just a really tough time, and the bills were higher than the money, and I had about $500, and I had names in a hat, and I was trying to figure out who I was going to pay first. Well, they got my attention at DTE, so I immediately went and paid them to get my power restored. Well, when I speak about DTE, and we know that DTE, when it comes to the electrical company that provides light and power to our homes, but today when I speak of DTE, I'm talking about the DTE that provides power and light to our lives. Now, there's a payment that needs to be made, but it's not a monetary payment. It's a payment in time of prayer and meditation. When I speak of DTE today, I'm speaking of divine thoughts that elevate. Now, don't get your power turned off. If you do not pay in prayer and meditation, your power just may be disconnected. So the D in DTE stands for divine. Divine as defined in the Revealing Word, which is a metaphysical reference library book by Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, means godly or godlike, of the nature of God. After I looked in the Revealing Word, I went to the computer and looked on dictionary.com, and it was defined as of pertaining to of God, especially the Supreme Being. So it became very clear to me that anywhere that I went in the universe, when the word divine came up, it was going to mean godly. So as children of God, we are made in His likeness and in His image. We also have that divine nature. It's part of our being. And it's important for us to develop and also to use that divine nature that we inherited from our divine Father. Genesis 1:26 tells us, "Then God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness." Let them have dominion over the fish, the sea, over the birds of the air, over the cattle, over the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. It also goes on in Genesis 1:27. So God created man in his own image, the image of God. He created him, male and female. He created them. So we are divine beings. The T in DTE stands for thoughts. Thoughts are things. Every thought clothes itself in a life form according to the character given it. And this came from the Revealing Word, also written by Charles Fillmore. So we create with our thoughts. Whatever we think, this is what we bring into our lives. This is what we bring into our world. So as a man thinketh, and that's one of the pamphlets, and also as a woman thinketh, that's part of Unity material, and we may have it in the bookstore here. Whatever we think, this is what we bring into our lives. So it is very important that we be aware of what's called stinking thinking. And when I say stinking thinking, I'm talking about things that do not benefit us. If it is something that does not benefit your life, toss it out. You don't need to dwell on it and think on those things. Philippians 4:8 tells us, finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there is any virtue, and if there is anything praiseworthy, think on these things. So we have specific instructions on what we should think about. With the right use of affirmations and denials, we can keep our thoughts connected to the divine mind. An affirmation to concentrate on when our mind starts to stray, because we're human and we can get off track easily. But if you feel yourself getting off track and you're thinking, Psalms 46:10 tells us to be still and know that I am God. You can always go back to the divine if you're off track by stopping and becoming still. The E in DTE means elevate. Elevate means to increase something, to rise up to a higher rank or status, to promote to another level or position. We must use our divine nature to think thoughts that elevate and raise us up. As followers of Jesus, we can look at his life and works and see that prayer and meditation kept him connected to the divine. And this allowed him to elevate in all the situations that he dealt with. He always thought much higher than the people around him. They called them miracles. Example, Jesus literally raised Lazarus from the dead with the divine thought that he could, regardless of how long Lazarus was in the grave. When Jesus went to the grave, they said, Master, he's been in the grave 4 days. Jesus didn't even think about what they were saying. He caused Lazarus out of the grave. He lifted and raised others from death, sickness, and disease due to his divine thinking. He didn't think on an earthly level. He always connected and thought from a divine level. And guess what? We have that power and ability to do the same thing. Jesus spoke positive affirmations. He prayed. He meditated often. Shouldn't we? We're followers of Jesus. We should do those same things. Jesus affirmed in John 10:30, I and the Father are one. Once again, he's connecting to his divinity. Matthew 28:18, Jesus says, all authority hath been given unto me in heaven and in earth. And in metaphysical terms, heaven means in the mind, and earth means the body. So you have all authority to deal with any situation that rises up in your life. You have the ability and authority to take control. I'm going to share a personal experience with you, and I know there are some new people here today, and welcome. Some of you that were here when I first started coming as a guest speaker, I was able to share with you my experience of being unemployed. I had recently been laid off, and it was a long journey of 2 years of unemployment. But during those 2 years, I put in a lot of applications, and I hopefully waited for positive responses, and that didn't happen. I got so many rejection letters, and I applied for things that I thought I was qualified for, as well as things as maybe, just maybe. But after getting a number of rejections, and if you've ever been in that position before, you know that's really not a good feeling. There was a point in time where I was just about ready to give up, but God was carrying me the entire time because I really didn't get set out on the streets. I did get the lights cut off, but I was able to restore them in a short period of time. One morning I woke up and my thinking changed. I was hee-hawing around, if I could use that term, and what I would do when I would put in applications is I would get up and I said, I think I'll look for a job today. Or I would say to myself, I really need a job. Or, what do I have to do to get a job? I was going through all these changes. This one particular morning, I woke up and I said, I am going to get a job today. When I brought the divine in, the I am, I got up, I went to the computer, and there were many mornings, many afternoons, many evenings that I would go to the computer, and there wasn't a job, or I would apply for jobs and just flat out reject it. Oh, we're sorry. Thank you for applying. I went to the computer that particular morning that I got up with the I am. I am going to find a job today. I turned on the computer, and up pops a job that I had never seen in the listings, out of all the listings, because sometimes those jobs just repeat themselves. Here was this job tailored just for me. So I decided I was going to apply. I had been rejected so many times, but I'm going to apply. So it said at the bottom of the job posting, email your resume. Well, I had learned from experience over the last 2 years is when you email a resume, somebody might look at it and maybe not. They have a new system where the computer scans the resume, and if it picks up certain words, they may look at it or they may just toss it out. So I wanted to go the old-fashioned way. So I printed out my resume. I took it to the post office about 4:30 that Thursday evening, and I asked the post person, the person at the post office, service person. I said, when will this get there? I put it in a nice envelope. And he replied to me, maybe Monday. I said, I need it to be there tomorrow. He said, well, maybe, it's not far away. So the next day at 4:30, I got a call from the application or the resume that I had sent in. And the supervisor that was posting the job asked if I would set up an interview. Nervous. I was so nervous, but I did set up the interview, and I went in. And after the interview, I came out, and I cried like a baby. I just cried. I was hysterical. I didn't think that I had made the cut. I didn't feel like I had said the right thing. And, it wasn't until the afterthought, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about how this process went. So I called all my friends, I called all my relatives, and I boo-hooed and I looked for support, but it was already a done deal. It was a done deal when I woke up that morning and brought the I am, when I brought the divine into my situation. So I had the interview, I cried all afternoon, and then at the end, late afternoon, I get another call. Well, we want you to come in and meet the president. And I'm like, really? So I get an interview with the president, and I come home that day, and I cried like a baby because I didn't think that I sold myself. I was asked several questions, and I gave one-word answers. I realized it wasn't me because if it was me, I probably would have been running my mouth. I gave one-word answers. Example was the president of the company asked me how comfortable was I in writing curriculum. I gave her a one-word answer. I said, very. Another question she asked me, she said, I don't want to hire anybody. I'm just tired of people coming through here. And she said, but I need to get this thing all straightened out. This one particular program, it just needs to be straightened out. I said, it will. She looked at me, I didn't realize later down the line that it was not me doing the talking, but the spirit in me that was doing the talking. And I realized that I was crying because I didn't feel like that I was selling myself well enough to get the position. About a week later, I got a call, and my now supervisor said, "We want to make you an offer. Can you come in?" I'm stunned. I go in, and they make me an offer, but the first thing she said to me is, "We liked you because you were humble." All this time, I felt like I was not meeting up to what was expected in a position such as this. I thought I needed to do a lot of talking, but all the time, the I am, the divine, was working for me. So I just wanted to share that experience with you, and I just want to ask you, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? What are you doing to elevate your life? Is it health? Is it finances? Is it relationships? How about employment? If you want to talk about employment, you can talk to me after the service. I could tell you more stories. We all have areas in our lives that need elevation. Believe in yourself. The divine dwells within you. You can accomplish anything you think you can accomplish. It first starts in the mind. Control your thoughts with affirmations and denials. Deny the negative. Anything negative that comes your way, deny it. Push it out. Anything that's positive, bring it into your life and affirm it. We create our life and we create our world through what we think. Rise up and elevate situations in your life to a higher level. You deserve the promotion that only you can give. DTE energy lights and heats our homes with the power that it brings in. But let us remember that DTE, divine thoughts, elevate and gives the power to light your life and your world by your thoughts. Thoughts elevate and gives us the power to rise above challenges, issues, and situations. I'd like for you to take that message with you today. Take it to the heart. Take it to the head. The head and the heart works together. Divine thoughts will elevate and take you to a higher level. So it is. Thank you.